What is a green flag you've experienced on a first date that made you want a second one? Story 1. We had been dating for about 6 months when she showed up at my apartment with a homemade cake on my birthday. It might sound like no big deal to some people, but I had never dated a girl who cared about my birthday. I almost dropped to my knees and cried when I opened the door. Story 2. She was an hour late. However, the entire time she was texting me updates and telling me what she was doing to get there. We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary on January 1st. Story 3. When my girlfriend and I had our first date, her mom sent her with $50 just in case I made her pay. And since I paid, she made the waiter cry by tipping him the whole $50. Apparently he was having a bad day, and it made it so much better. One of the biggest indicators of a person's true personality is how they treat waitstaff and other workers who are meant to serve you. If your date doesn't leave a massive tip for the waiter, it doesn't mean they're not a good person. But if they're rude or condescending towards them, then you can be pretty sure that they'll be the same towards you. Story 4. She came to my door and my puppy got excited. Without skipping a beat, she scooped up the dog and asked where the 3 of us were going. That was 19 years ago. The puppy is gone, but we've stuck together through hell and back. Story 5. I realized I spent most of the date talking about myself, and I've never once had that happen. I'm a very reserved and private person when I first meet someone, which has honestly made dating difficult for years. He had such a way of asking questions and keeping the conversation going, and encouraging me to share my thoughts and opinions. He also shared his own thoughts and opinions in response to everything I said. When our date was over, I realized I had spent almost the entire time talking, which is so unlike me on first dates. I wasn't afraid of him judging me or not liking my response to something. All of his questions were sincere, and he seemed to genuinely care about whatever I was saying. I didn't have to think about what to say. It just came out of me, and he met me wherever I was. Maybe it sounds silly, but it was pretty magical, and we still see each other. Story 6. This wasn't the first date, but it was the moment I knew I was going to marry this man. We went grocery shopping at about 9 p.m., and we had both just been paid. The young lady in line in front of us had a very young baby and was paying with WIC coupons and a food stamp EBT card. Her total came to about $22, and she was holding a $20 bill. She looked dejected and put back the one and only thing that was probably her splurge, a candy bar and an energy drink. Other than that, she had baby food, diapers, chicken, rice, bananas, formula, wipes, the bare minimum. I turned around to tell my now husband to hand me my wallet. I didn't have to. He already had his out. He took out a $50 bill, handed it to the woman, and told her to keep the change. He changed her week, and he changed my life. That was the moment I knew he was it for me. Story 7. I've been looking for a relevant thread to leave this comment because I knew that tender and committed human kindness was going to come up on this thread somewhere. On my first date with my past girlfriend, she saw someone struggling with a cart at the park we were at. It was a vendor closing up their food stand for the day. She got ready to leap up from the grass where we were sitting to go help the person. No hesitation, no questions, no qualms about rudeness towards me, which of course it wasn't. Nothing. Just this springboard of instant human recognition and kindness. Just then, the vendor got her cart over the bump she was struggling with, and my ex sat back down. But I saw it play out many times after that. If there was a person struggling or suffering, she stood up to stand in the gap. She was absolutely one of those people. No questions asked. She had a gentle and humorous way of putting people at total ease so that they would accept her help. That first date I knew, and I told her about it afterward. She could not understand why I thought this was so important, or why I was so impressed, as the truly good and kind-hearted people do. I had spent several years in an earlier time period with a selfish, self-involved, and occasionally cruel man. I knew what the opposite of that looked like. I knew how the opposite of that could twist a person. I knew what it was like struggling myself, and I knew she was a keeper, because she didn't do it to impress me. She didn't look to me first. She didn't elaborately ask me for permission to excuse herself to go help. She just saw it and jumped up. We eventually split for reasons that had nothing to do with that, but it was and still is one of the most important relationships of my life. Her trustworthy human kindness was and still is never in question. I just love the stories of the truly kind and caring people within these posts. You know, they don't stop or hesitate to go out of their way to show kindness to a stranger, and they definitely don't expect anything in return. We should all strive to improve that within ourselves on a day-to-day basis, as the world could always use more people like that. Story 8. I have a pretty cool story. On the first date with my now wife, we had plans to go to a fancy Italian restaurant. I showed up a bit early, dressed as nicely as my wardrobe allowed, and had a couple of drinks before she arrived. Anyways, she arrived and we enjoyed our dinner, drinks, appetizers, and dessert. When it was time for the check, the waitress came over and told us, "A person who prefers to remain anonymous picked up y'all's tab and told me to tell y'all to continue to enjoy the night." We were both shocked. I wasn't keeping tabs, but this was an expensive meal we just had. I tipped well, of course, and I thought to myself the only reason anyone would do that is if they saw an obvious first date unfolding and thought we were cute, happy, genuine, or something. We both felt pretty special. We've been married for 3 years now and together for 8. We eventually paid it forward to another young couple years later. Total boss move, by the way. It definitely makes you feel good about yourself. Story 9. We stayed at the wine bar much longer than we had originally planned, and we were trying to race to a restaurant for food before places started closing. I offered her a piggyback ride to run it due to her wearing heels, and she jumped on, threw her arm forward, and yelled, "Onward!" We didn't make it to the restaurant in time, but we did end up at the nearby diner for a few more hours. We've been married a little over 3 years now, and we're leaving for our honeymoon soon. Story 10. I asked if she wanted to go to McDonald's and split some fries because that's all I could afford at the time. She said sure, and we talked for a long time and split a large fry. She was so chill about it and just wanted to be with me. Anywhere would have been okay. I knew if she was willing to go out with a broke and struggling me, she would also be willing to build a life with me from the ground up. We have been married for 35 years, through ups and downs, kids, sickness, wealth, and poverty. Story 11. My now husband and I went for a walk for our second date. As we went along, we were approached by one of those, "Let me tell you about this important cause" people, and he told them we were late and didn't want to hear their spiel. We took 2 steps and he stopped, turned to me and said, "Sorry, I completely just spoke for you. Did you want to hear what he had to say?" I melted right there and never looked back. We've been together 8 years this spring. Story 12. I have a son from my previous marriage. At dinner, I told him flat out my son will always be my first priority, and if he couldn't handle that, then there was no point wasting each other's time. My son had a damn good dad, so I didn't want a dad for my son, but if we ever got serious enough for me to let him into my son's life, my expectations of him would be to be a positive influence, a mentor, and someone my son could count on to support him and love him. There would be times where I would be busy doing mom things like taking care of a sick kiddo, a babysitter canceled, there's a game or school event I needed to be at, homework I needed to stay home and help with, etc. And if he couldn't understand and accept that, then there was no place for him in my life. He just looked at me and said that's what a good mom does, and it shouldn't be any other way. He told me later he knew at that moment on our first date I was the woman he was going to marry, and he vowed to make sure we never went without anything as long as he was in our lives. Here we are almost 10 years later, married for almost 8. He loves my son as much as I do. He would do anything in the world for us, and I don't doubt that he would die for either one of us. How I knew he was the one was when I was sicker than a dog. I literally couldn't get out of bed. We had only been casually dating for about 6 weeks, but he came over with pizza, chicken noodle soup, ginger ale, tea, honey, lemons, and some video games. He fed my son pizza and me soup, made me tea, held my hair while I projectile vomited all over my bathroom, cleaned up my mess, put me to bed, played video games with my son, got him to bed, got him up for school, made breakfast and a lunch for him, dropped him off at school, and then called out of work to take care of me. He cleaned my house, did my dishes, did my laundry, changed the sheets on my bed while I took a shower, and stayed cuddled up on the couch with me being sick all day. He then met my son at the bus stop and made us dinner. My son looked at me and said, "Mommy, I like your friend. Can he stay here more?" I fell in love with him that day. The way he cared about my son and about me, and how he jumped in to help with no expectations, just wanting to make sure I was taken care of and my son was safe and taken care of as well. We got engaged a year later and were married a year after that. My son is 16 now, and my husband is still his best friend. They love each other so much, and they are always together. He's at all my son's games. He helps with homework. He plays video games with him. He takes him fishing and camping, taught him how to drive. He treats my son like his own child, and the bond they have is incredible. Story 13. I was in a town I was unfamiliar with just for drinks with some friends. Me and her just clicked instantly and ended up in a corner together for hours. I think I only ended up having like 3 drinks, the same for her, throughout the entire night. We bonded over a lot of shared hobbies, both of our dogs named Jack, our less than normal childhoods and family dynamics. When we were leaving the club, I was trying to hide from this really clingy guy that had taken a liking to me, and to help hide me, she literally grabbed me by the shirt, spun me around, threw me up against a wall and started kissing me in the most passionately intense way ever. She told me she had a 5-date rule. I just said, I bet I can get to 10, 'cause I just really liked hanging out with her and talking to her. We ended up getting a taxi with all of our friends back to where we were going. I was staying at a friend's house and she was going back to her own house. I just never wanted to get out of the taxi or stop talking with her. I was contemplating staying in the taxi and walking her to her door and then navigating my way back to my friend's house at 3 a.m. in the middle of a freezing cold night. I just wanted more time with her. She told me to stop being stupid and to get out, and gave me a big kiss goodnight. The taxi door wasn't even closed, and she was already texting me. Next month we'll have been together for 10 years. She's my best friend, and the person I want to share everything with. I have never felt any other way since date 1, honestly. I met her at a time when I was going through some horrible stuff in my social life, and just immediately it was better due to her. We have a picture of her with my dog Jack, and Jack is just staring so deeply and intently at her. He passed away a few days later. She offered to leave work and travel to my town to comfort me. My granddad saw the picture from a few days prior and said, I think Jack knew she'd be the one looking after you now. We bonded over our Jacks, and my Jack couldn't have chosen a better person for me.